So as you all can see, we're focusing today on pre-apprenticeships. And at SGF, we are excited to be launching our pilot pre-apprenticeship program. And we want to share with our community both the why and the how behind it. We are highlighting how pre-apprenticeships can be a powerful tool for creating meaningful pathways for our people. So I'm going to hand it over to Leah, one of our program coordinators, to get us started. Leah.
Thank you, Adrian. Super excited to be here talking about the pre-apprenticeship a little bit with y'all. So I'm just here to share what we got going on tonight. As always, we're going to discuss a little bit about who SGF is. Then we'll discuss about SGF's pilot pre-apprenticeship. We'll go into the importance of pre-apprenticeships. What are they? Why are they? Pre-apprenticeship takeaways, workforce development in Atlanta. And then we'll have some next steps for you guys. So our mission at SGF is that we're a grassroots organization dedicated to creating green economy pathways for communities of color in Georgia. We foster safe, resilient spaces that amplify diverse voices and address the systemic barriers marginalized groups face. And we envision a future where Black and frontline communities lead in achieving environmental and economic justice, sustaining their health, well-being, and prosperity across generations. So as we talk about our pilot pre-apprenticeship, you can see that our vision is really ingrained in this program that we're going to be launching. As always, we do our community agreements, which is an organizing tool that's used to ensure fair, equitable representation in discussing key community issues. And we like to ask everybody, what do you need to feel seen, heard, and safe in our space today? We're on I think the 5th CJEM of the year, 4th or 5th CJEM of the year. So we have some running community agreements already. If you'd like to go over those, SGF team member is going to drop the mural board in the chat. If you have some new ones that you want to share with us, feel free to drop them in the chat. We'll add them to the mural board. And now I'm going to be handing it over to Adrian to get us into our pilot pre-apprenticeship.
Thank you so much, Leah. And yes, please, y'all, drop that mirror board in the chat. We want to see what you need in order to feel seen and heard in this space. So as we said, we are so thrilled about introducing SGF pilot pre-apprenticeship program. Now we're emphasizing pilot. Everything SGF does is done with intentionality and thought, and this pilot program is no different. So this is our first time trying this out. So we want to say that. And while we've been working really hard, and our trainers have too, we know there's still room to learn and improve and grow. So a little bit about this pre-apprenticeship program. Last spring, we ran what was a first of its kind 7-week community sprint with industry professionals who generously helped us shape the foundation of this program so that we could launch with the confidence and avoid some major issues. So we've done that work last spring. Now we're starting small with intentionality to focus on each individual and experience so that when people are leaving the room or they're associated with SGF, they'll have what they need in order to prosper. So we want to make sure that this part of the pre-apprenticeship that you guys know that this is the implementation stage of the pre-apprenticeship, and it's based off all of the hard work from last spring. Next slide, please. Well, could you go back? So I want to talk about what specifically this pre-apprenticeship is, okay? So this is a solar and weatherization pre-apprenticeship program. It is a paid workforce development opportunity, and it's designed for Metro Atlanta BIPOC communities interested in launching a career in solar or weatherization. So it's going to be over the course of 7 weeks. Participants will get hands-on training in solar, career readiness workshops, direct connections to apprenticeships and job opportunities in the clean energy sectors. And we're building a pathway into this clean economy. So you saw our mission statement. Our mission statement is that we're always trying to create these pathways and build upon them. And that's what we're trying to do. Next slide, please. So this right here is a quick snapshot, if y'all can look and see, of what we're really focusing on. So with SGF, we are always trying to set a tone of how you treat people who are coming into a new emerging industry and folks that are in frontline communities. So we will be providing a stipend while completing the program. The program would, again, focus on weatherization and solar. We're going to be helping them beef up their interview skills and their resumes. There will be opportunity for mentorship with Black professionals in the sustainability sector. And we are looking at connections for long-term careers in trade and clean energy. So, you know, this pre-apprenticeship is just a jump off we see for folks who are joining this one and the ones to come so that they can start their new career. So you must be 18 and up. You must be a resident of Metro Atlanta. And you can have passion about sustainability justice. That is key, but if you really, the interest is really there. And so, the reason why we're doing this, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this, is because it's a need. And I'm going to let folks go to the next slide so we can give a shout out to the foundation that helped us kick this off. This is something that we've been wanting to do for a while, and we needed the finance in order to do it. So Drawdown Georgia is this foundation, and we just want to thank them for their support and helping us fund this pilot. And we must say we've received funding from other additional funding, but for their funding and believing that we could do this pilot, we know that other funders would not have put some money in the pot. So we just would like to give our hats off to Drawdown Georgia. And even though that we know that they're drawing down within the next 5 years, we look forward to partnering with them within this next 5 years and in the new form and beyond. So with that being said, I am going to pass it back to Leah so she can give us what is a pre-apprenticeship. Thank you, Leah.
Thank you, Adrienne. We've talked a little bit about what SGF's pilot pre-apprenticeship is and what it's going to look like, but now let's take a moment to talk about what a pre-apprenticeship actually is and why it matters. We'll walk through the key elements and highlight their overall importance. So we're going to take a look at the slide. A pre-apprenticeship is a program or set of strategies that is designed to prepare individuals to enter and succeed in a registered apprenticeship program, and that is coming from apprenticeship.gov. Most people are familiar with registered apprenticeship programs or RAPs, and these are formal industry recognized training programs that require acceptance, and getting in can involve a number of complex hurdles. So like I said, according to apprenticeship.gov, pre-apprenticeships are designed to lead directly into these RAPs, but participating in a pre-apprenticeship can also open doors to jobs in technical fields like building analysis roles, especially when paired with additional certifications, which is something SGF is working on to provide directly to our pre-apprentices. We've already been able to help some of our previous canvassers become certified BATs, which is really exciting. And pre-apprenticeships also can provide access to entry-level jobs or lead to further education through technical colleges. Okay. So why pre-apprenticeships? Pre-apprenticeships are essential stepping stones that help individuals gain the skills and experiences needed to enter these RAPs, but also other jobs like I was talking about. So backed by the U.S. Department of Labor, quality pre-apprenticeship programs feature approved curricula aligned with industry standards, hands-on simulated experience that builds real-world skills, and directs pathways into RAPs through strong partnerships. And essentially, these programs are really designed to increase access for underrepresented communities like ours and provide supportive services like childcare and transportation and foster sustainable partnerships that strengthen the overall workforce pipeline. So on here, we've got some of the key elements, like I said, approved curriculum, simulated experience, facilitated entry, increased access, support services, and sustainable partnerships. Pre-apprenticeship programs leave participants with more than just experience. They offer tangible takeaways that support their long-term success. Graduates often earn industry-recognized certifications, build those key relationships with employers and mentors, and gain a more straightforward pathway to further education or advanced training. These elements collectively strengthen career readiness and open doors to future opportunities. Now I'm going to hand it over to Adrian and Mariama for our workforce development portion of the presentation. Thanks, guys. You're on mute, Adrian.
I just noticed that I printed out the script. Y'all, as y'all know, if you've been on here before, you know we have scripts. And the reason why we have scripts, because we respect y'all time. We don't want to go over the time. But I just noticed that I have half a script. So I'm gonna have to be reading. I'm not gonna be looking at this this state of Georgia, but I want you to be looking at it while I'm going through my piece. All right. So now that we've talked about what a pre-apprenticeship is, we want to explain why SGF is investing in this effort. So at the heart of our strategy, because we have a strategy, y'all, is the 100,000 Georgian campaigns. So you may have heard a little bit about this campaign that we talked about it a little bit at our in February at our general meeting, but now we're really getting into it and we're out there, y'all, and we're talking to people. And I have to tell you, it's pretty exciting. And I can't wait for you all to be a part of this in some kind of way, because we're about to have a lot of fun. So, like I said, at the heart of our strategy is the 100,000 Georgian campaigns. And this is our long-term initiative to build a stronger, more inclusive, clean energy workforce across Georgia. So as a part of this campaign, we're developing leadership development teams. And right now, that's happening. We're going to do it in 11, but it's happening right now in 4 key cities this year. That is Macon, Albany, Savannah, and Augusta. Okay. So these teams will serve as the foundation for community-led leadership and workforce engagement. Alongside that, we are also building programming that supports and complements the work of the LDTs. That's where the pre-apprenticeship comes in. So this pilot pre-apprenticeship program is a critical step in that vision. So our goal is to scale pre-apprenticeship programs across the state, not just in these 4 hubs, but eventually throughout all 11 counties that y'all see listed here, and that we currently serve. These pilots are tailored to align with jobs and industries that are already present in our communities, y'all. Mariama, who is just a genius, will dive deeper into the specific career opportunities here in Georgia. But we want to emphasize this. When we say pre-apprenticeship, we're not talking about a top-down program where born out of this program is born out of real community needs. People across the state have told us they want access to clean energy jobs. They want pathways into meaningful work. And we've been building out corporate tables to help shape the pipelines that connect communities directly to green industry jobs. That includes solar, battery manufacturing, and other clean energy sectors. So why now, you ask? Because these jobs are already here, as Mariama would point out, and they're not going anywhere. From solar panel manufacturing at Q-Cell to electric vehicle battery plants, this is happening in our backyards. Unfortunately, though, many people don't realize these opportunities exist or don't feel like they have a way in. And we want to change that by allowing folks in their communities a pathway forward. So ultimately, what we hope to do with this pilot and future SGF programs, because this is not going to be the only one, is to replicate this success across the state. And not actually replicate, because it may be different in Augusta and it may be different in Macon, and it will be based on the industries that are there. So we don't want you to think that we're trying to do a one size fits all, but we will have a foundation to start from so that the outcome of this pilot will help us refine and scale what works. While the focus might always be solar, it will always be tied to accessible opportunities in this industry, in this clean industry. And now, with that being said, I'm going to pass it over to Mariama. She's with the innovation team. She's the innovation team director with the Mayor's Office of Atlanta to discuss workforce development and green jobs in Atlanta. Mariama.
Awesome. No, thank you, Adrienne. Thank you, Sustainable Georgia Futures team, for having me here. I've sat in several CJEMs, so it's great to be on the other side of it now. It's great to see some familiar faces. Idowu, Nicole, so great to see you all. Just a bit of context. So yes, I do work for the city of Atlanta. I'm in the mayor's office, leading our innovation team. And I get the chance and the luckiness to get to work with Adrienne and her entire team as part of the Bloomberg American Sustainable Cities Initiative. And we have been working together since last August, when we really launched, to really focus in on what does the green economy look like, particularly in Atlanta, but thinking about, of course, Atlanta, gotta talk about neighboring counties. It can't just be Atlanta, it gotta be DeKalb, Fulton, et cetera. So we've been working together, the Mayor's Office of Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, Office of Sustainability and Resilience, as well as the Executive Office, where I sit, I report to the Mayor's Chief of Staff, as well as Black Sustainability Inc. in Atlanta, Kindred Futures, and Sustainable Georgia Futures. We've been working diligently, and we developed our kind of mission statement on how we work together. And our mission is that by 2035, we're really supporting Black legacy residents in Atlanta who live in South Side and West Side to be able to participate, build wealth, and receive equitable access to, shape, and benefit from the clean energy and green economy. And I have, spoken to some people on this call around like, what is this clean energy and green economy? A lot of it is building off of existing trades as well. So I want to just name that out loud, that a lot of this work is the support of what we've already been doing for a very long time, taking advantage of the kind of emerging and existing economies. Next slide. And so first, we've been debating around what a green job is. But for a while, I was like, let's just go, do a little quick Google search on this, as in addition to what we've already been discussing. And what it really comes down to is two different things. One being something that's either benefiting the environment or conserving natural resources specifically. So those are your, conservationists, your arborists, folks who are actively thinking about conserving natural resources and benefiting the environment. And then it could also be any job that is making things more environmentally friendly or using fewer natural resources. And so if a home can end up with solar, that's great, using renewable energy, but they might need a plumber to plug in to make things a lot more water efficient. They'll need roofers, they'll need energy auditors, all of these positions that are working to make use of fewer natural resources that might not be obvious to necessarily assume that they are a clean energy job per se. We have a branding issue, y'all. So next slide. And so we did some digging. This is from the United States Energy Employment Report from the Department of Energy. I highly doubt we'll ever have this level of granularity again. So I'm grateful that it even exists in the first place. We're looking at Atlanta and its neighboring counties, that's including Fulton, Cobb, Gwinnett, DeKalb, and Clayton. There were about 27,000 clean energy jobs in 2024. That is exclusively solar, wind, energy efficiency as a DOE classifies it. That does not include your energy auditors. It doesn't include all the other positions we know that are necessary for clean energy jobs. So that's just the baseline. And this was just 2 years ago. Next slide. And then what we also found was out of all the jobs, solar was about 3,000 or so. The number one was looking at high efficiency HVACs and renewable heating and cooling. So those are your heat pumps, your high efficient HVACs that are out there. You got to get your HVAC replaced. The new one you probably get might be an Energy Star one. Those are all, like, according to the Department of Energy, this is not me making it up, like the number one clean energy job, specifically in Atlanta and its neighboring counties. You can go to the next slide. And so, okay, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna join. I know there's 100,000 Georgians campaign. It's not just fall in DeKalb. It's across. I wanted to see across what those numbers were. So this is me literally pulling this today. But fall in definitely drives around, again, the solar, wind, energy efficiency jobs. But you also see this in Gwinnett. You also see it in DeKalb. You also see it in Chatham County. It really varies. Even in Whitfield County as well. Solar, wind, and energy efficiency jobs. And again, this does not include battery storage. It doesn't include a lot of the other manufacturing jobs that we know exist. So the opportunities are across all of the counties that SGF is focused on. Next slide. And this might be the slide where we perfect. So this is slide where I'll shift and control on my screen just to show y'all 2 different tools that will help you think through this work too. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and share my screen. I will present. Let's see. Can y'all see this? Perfect. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to click. So the first one I wanted to share you was created by E2. They are awesome group of individuals. Tanya is great. And so what they did was, right when the Inflation Reduction Act was coming out, to be able to see what are all the projects that are actually happening that received money from this across all the states. So it was just linked in the chat. This is one amazing tool where you can see what are the particular projects that are happening, down to the representative. If you want to find your representative, which district it is. This is important for the reps. So when you're talking and going to Congress and knowing exactly which districts folks are in. But if you click on Georgia, for example, it will zoom in to share what's happening in Georgia specifically. So if you look at me, click on one, for example, this is a huge project right here, right? That's Cedartown, Georgia, where Solar Cycle was created. And it was just announced just last year with $344 million being invested in Marjorie Greene's district. Interesting enough. Around 600 jobs that are being offered, right? You have Toyota, of course, around 69 million. And it tells you the announced jobs that are going to be created. And then you could also look by sector. So if you want to look at what are the battery storage projects that are happening, and primarily in Georgia, the main one is all the way down in Southwest Georgia and Bainbridge with Innovian Technologies. Those are the main battery storage ones. And then, of course, you have SK Battery in Roswell. So those are 2 examples. And when you click on them on the bottom, you're able to see, again, the announced jobs. Keep in mind, we don't know what is happening right now, right? Like, we do know that there was a level of jobs that were guaranteed. We know some manufacturing places are shifting and not following through the way they had expected to. So this tool was useful just to see what was being offered. And then you can follow up on the news to see what really is happening or not. But one thing that is happening right now, because I'm always trying to ground us of the reality of today, is that there are jobs across different systems that exist right now of like actual Indeed posts, like right now. So what we've built out, and this is a prototype, so kind of, SGF knows this language very well. This is the first draft, mid-fidelity prototype of green careers in Atlanta. So we looked at across a 15-mile radius of the city of Atlanta, across the top hottest, quote unquote, jobs in the green sector. And so utilities is a category, renewable energy, those are your solar, EV, residential and commercial construction. As you know, Nicole knows more than anyone on this call, if you're thinking about clean energy and efficiency jobs, the role residential plays in this, building operations, HVAC, The fun part about this is mainly designed for you to be able to see what your potential career pathway could look like in the clean energy economy within Atlanta and then 15-mile radius within the city of Atlanta. So let's say you want to eventually be a VP of electric utility company. You'd be able to click on that and be able to see a description of what the job is and the role, the skills and requirements that are required. I am so grateful. I've been getting live updates from a lot of people to update this. One of them is being a distinction between what are the soft skills and the technical skills that are required for each role, but it includes your pay, your work experience, if you need a college degree or not. And then you can use that to go back. Okay, if I can then become an electrical engineer, how do I zoom back? How do I go all the way down? Where do I even start? So this is one example. So you can start a utility traffic control flagger, become a laborer, line worker, apprentice, junior engineer, electrical engineer, finally get your college degree back in, this will describe. So anything with the diamond in the middle is something that you need a junior, whether you need a college degree for. And then on the bottom, it would show you what that career pathway, starting from, being an entry-level position. And what we're going to be updating in the in-between are what are those type of programs that can help you get there. So for example, the SGF Pre-Apprenticeship program, Goodwill's work, youth build, etc. The city and people in the city are already doing. And one thing I want to share too is that the last thing I'll share on this part is thinking about, again, green jobs being across. That also exists in residential. You can start out as an insulator, not need a college degree for that. Range of 31K to 41K in terms of jobs, and then be able to say, okay, what do I want to do after becoming an insulator? I want to become a residential carpenter. After that, I want to be a commercial carpenter or an energy auditor. To be from that, I want to be a building inspector, et cetera. So being able to really play around and see what are the particular pathways that you want to explore. And particularly around the pay range that they're seeing on average. And so you can actually search jobs through it as well through Indeed, where it will link it out and list out some of those jobs that are in there. You can see if they're still around. They'll pop up here: energy auditor, construction manager at Horizon, et cetera, and being able to explore Audited too with Georgia Tech, all of those. So that is a bit of the effort that we're working on here in the city. And working in partnership with St. Georgia Futures and other folks who are already on this call to really map out where are the needs here and what is the kind of green economy, green careers in Atlanta that go beyond the manufacturing jobs that we know exist, but are not as guaranteed as the ones that we actually are seeing right now. So I will pause there and I'll stop sharing my screen. I'll place it to you all. But thank you for the time to get to share.
Indeed. So I just want to say, Mariama, when you were talking about this, I had no idea what you were talking about, but I was like, yes, Mariama, let's do it. And this is so amazing. This is what we needed and didn't know we needed. And the work that Mariama has done behind this is very impressive. With just meeting, I think you met with over 35 or 50 people. You only need to meet with 35 for a research project, but I think she did like 50 or 60. So, I mean, wow. Okay. So just great work. This is going to really help us navigate this, because some of the questions that we often get, like, okay, you're building this pre-apprenticeship. Why are you doing this? Right. And is there even any work out here? Can we even do that? That's why we're doing the corporate table. We're working with the city. We're doing everything that's possible that's going to help people connect in certain type of ways and show them pathways. And when we talk about pathways, I love this app because it just takes you to pathways. This is so amazing. Great job.
I appreciate it. It is a prototype, so love any feedback. I was with the EV Tech folks, students at Goodwill earlier today, and got a lot of feedback from folks during the Co-Creating Green Prosperity Summit. We're doing a few other sessions to get like live, demoing with people who are like, the colors make sense, but why is it starting with senior? I've started with entry. So all these things are very helpful for us. So I really appreciate it. I put my email in the contact if anyone in the chat, if anyone wants to follow up with me. I would love that. So thank you, Adrienne.
Yeah. Actually, Adrienne, we kind of going through this really fast. So I was gonna see if you wanted to maybe leave some space here for if anyone had any questions for Mariama.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. No pressure, y'all.
No pressure, but Please ask.
We
Well,
are. Oh,
I was going to ask a question. So, Mariama, working with the different groups and stuff, what made you come up with this?
So interestingly enough, okay, so a part of like leading an innovation team, and this kind of part of your design sprint is you don't want to jump to solutions immediately, right? You want to like allow the process people to give out things, but it just kept being asked. People were like, we don't know what the jobs are. I remember speaking with Chandra a lot. She was like, what exactly are the roles? Like, yes, we know that people can be managers, they can be. So there was two questions that kept happening. People kept asking, what are the specific jobs? And if you are like an insulator, or if you are a roofer or a plumber, are you a clean energy job? Are you a green job? Like, I don't know. That was one question that kept happening all throughout last year, the whole year. I'm like, I'll get there with a solution. I'm gonna, follow the process, but I'm like, this kept happening. The second thing that kept happening was that we were hearing all of this information around the IRA, Inflation Reduction Act, large manufacturing projects that were happening in Georgia. And I was like, this is awesome. What's happening in inner cities? What's happening in like places that do not have large manufacturing?
Rural
Right.
areas.
And right. Or even rural areas too, where it's like we're not near these large manufacturing plants. And so we're talking about what are the green economy in like an urban environment where I live in the city of Atlanta. What does that even mean for us here? So those two questions kept happening. So I've been trying to figure that out. Like, what are the jobs? What are the particular roles? Well, how do people navigate it as well? Number one. And number two, what does it look like for a place that's not manufacturing roles that are all funded by the Inflation Reduction Act? And so I'm very grateful that I met Julius Education. They did this in Washington, D.C. They did it in New York City, a few other cities where they've been building this out. And I was like, we have to work together. I had to find money to get you to work with me. So because we needed that. And I wanted people to see before we got to like really the ideation of an example of what it means. And people may not have, they didn't ask for it, but they were asking for it, if that makes sense.
Indeed, indeed. I definitely love this because when anytime anybody approaches us, we're like very open-ended about what
We've had this conversation so many
we've had
times.
this, and it's a reason why we do that, right? Because we want people, especially Black people in general, to be able to see themselves in these jobs or in these opportunities, because oftentimes they don't, because they don't understand a lot of times the stuff that they're doing, it is sustainability, it is clean jobs.
Right.
You just need to apply yourself in a different way to take a different path and give yourself more opportunities, right? And especially in this economy right now. So I'm so glad you introduced us to that. And thank you.
Yeah,
But
only
yeah.
up from here, y'all. So, and this pre-apprenticeship program is such perfect timing around this need, and addressing some of the concerns that we were already hearing in our research too. So I'm excited to see it come to life, and you have an awesome team of trainers. Like, you got the best of the best. So it's gonna be great.
Indeed, indeed. I mean, honestly, we've tried a pilot pre-apprenticeship a couple of times and we failed. So this time around, but failure is great, right?
That
Because
is
it shows
awesome.
you what exactly, it shows you what you need to do and what you don't need to do. And we brought in industry professionals to really help us craft this. And it flowed. We had fun. We have a process that we're willing to share with other community groups that helped us get to this. And I mean, it's just been a great a process. What Susan say, Suzanne? Hey, how are you doing, Suzanne? I love that there are so many jobs that don't require a degree as well as path option. Yes, yes, it is beautiful.
Yes, that was very purposeful. We're thinking of like, thinking about also, we're looking at a lot of the background, particularly in Atlanta. We have so many communities that there's over like 35-40% of folks that do not graduate with a bachelor's degree. And so, we're thinking about what Atlanta being this kind of Black Mecca, quote unquote, but some people are left behind. And so
Yeah.
we were purposefully targeting those who have historically been left behind by all of these processes. So we started with those who don't have a bachelor's degree. If you have it, great, come through, but our focus was trying to close equity gaps. So thank you, Suzanne, for that.
Indeed, indeed. All right, let's go to the next slide. We have a question for everyone, and we're hoping that people will jump into it. And because, you know, we want to hear from y'all. This is why we brought it to the CJEM. And then here also with this part, we would like to bring in Nicole Lee and see if you have any questions from Nicole Lee. She will be one of our instructors. She's one of our main instructors. And so, and it really has helped us build out this pre-apprenticeship. And, you know, she is something in her own right. You know, you don't know about Nicole Lee, you need to read about her. And so and Mariama was absolutely right. We have a powerhouse, and I have been cultivating the relationship with her since the day I met her. I was like, I have to work with this woman. So because she's doing so many great things. But our question is this: what do you think about the SGF plan? So that 100,000 Georgians. I know this is probably the first time y'all have heard us talk about it. We've been trying to keep it quiet. Like sometimes we'll be in spaces and people will say 100,000 Georgians. We're like, wait a minute, who's been talking about her? We've been trying to keep this under wraps. Who's been talking? I remember one time we were at a GCV event and they were like, we need to reach out to Alondra. And me and Ty looked at each other like, what? And we know we purposely during the general meeting, we glossed over it because we wanted to set ourselves up and to win, right? And now we're set up, we can talk about it. But so if you guys have questions about that, you have questions about the pre-apprenticeship across the state, we want to hear your thoughts because it helps us to develop it. And like I say, you have Nicole here. Please ask her questions about her approach. Anyone? We just did such a great job. Oh, Nicole, you're on mute.
I said it's a quiet crowd tonight.
I know.
I have a question.
Okay.
So I I was encouraged to come to the call by someone that I've just met through Habesha Works. I'm in Habesha's 2025 cohort. So one of the alums, along with some of my instructors, and told me to come today. So
Oh,
I want
wow.
to know what the pre-apprenticeship program, what would that entail? Like what all would, I guess, we be doing if we applied and got into this pre-apprenticeship program?
Okay, well, I'm going to gloss over it and then I'm going to hand it to Nicole. But basically what it is with the pre-apprenticeship, it's going to be some basic type of things that you need to learn, skills and everything. That's why we're having the interest meetings to see where people are at. And it's broken up into 4 modules. Nicole will be doing 2 of the modules, okay? And Costco and James will be doing the first modules. And so these modules are each 2 weeks, okay? And the last module will be done by SGF. It's going to be like resume, and we're going to have industry professionals that we're going to be having folks meeting with and all of that type of stuff. So that's the last 2 weeks. That it's going to be broken up. There's going to be stuff like OSHA training in there, you know, basics to building, construction, energy auditing and things of that nature. Nicole, I'm gonna let you before I start lying because I don't know.
No, that is the gist of it. You know, during the apprenticeship program, this is a pre-apprenticeship. So, you know, it's more so as an opportunity for you to see inside of the field to determine like, is this something for me? Am I cut out to be crawling around in the attic, under a house, on top of a roof? It's basically for you to figure out like, hey, this is what the clean green industry is, and maybe this physical part might not be for me, but there are other spaces that I can see myself fitting in. But this is just so you can get a peek inside of what it is, the day-to-day, learn the basics of it without deep diving into something that, you know, you just want to skim the surface level of.
That is perfect. And there also you will get some certifications. And we know for certain the OSHA certification, and then Nicole and the team, we're looking into some other certifications, low level, but certifications that you don't have to worry about getting, and that we will help you acquire and get. So it's like, it's getting you started. That's what the pre-apprenticeship is, introducing you to people and making sure that you can align and using the resources that we have from the city, from the teams that we're working with. So hopefully that answered your question. And if it doesn't, we have the interest meeting that is tomorrow at 12. And 12, is it 12 or 12:30? 12 or 12:30. And then we have one on Wednesday too at 6, next Wednesday.
It's at 12. It's going to be about a 30-minute session too.
Yeah, so it's going to be really quick because, as you can see, it's really straightforward, but it allows you another chance to ask questions. But thank you for asking that question. And shout out to Habasha for shouting us out and bringing people to our CJEM.
Yeah, thank you. There's going to be a few more for tomorrow that are coming as well. I
Awesome.
signed up for tomorrow too.
Awesome.
So,
Yay. We're so happy. See, community working together. There we go. All right. Any other questions? We don't have to hold y'all, you know? Oh, let me see. We got something in the chat.
Virtual or
Virtual, in person. So the program is in person. That's why we say Metro Atlanta. And we really we're offering wraparound services, okay? So if people need transportation, you're gonna be fed, you're gonna get paid for the hours that you attend. So we will have an instructor that will be virtual, but he's gonna be working alongside Costco. There may be one, Nicole and the team are talking this through about the OSHA training. So that may be like 1 week that you could do it virtually, but it's going to be, we're trying to 2 days out of the week, I think, Nicole, right? That they're expected to.
Yes.
Yeah.
In person.
In person.
Yes.
And also, right, it's going to be like,
Are there accommodations for disabled participants?
Yes.
We love everybody.
Yep. So we will be having the training at Pittsburgh Yards, if y'all are familiar with that. We just acquired space there. And so the workspace will be there. Southwest Atlanta.